Hello everyone, welcome to my kitchen today. We're going to make gingerbread today. The first thing we've got to do, you've got a recipe, I think, in your box, and we're going to turn the oven on to 170 degrees first of all. There we are, for it to heat up, 170 degrees. And then we're going to melt some butter in the large pan, and we need 100 grams of butter. I'm just going to weigh that. Oh, that's absolutely fine. Chop it into little pieces and put it in the pan to melt. Woo, it's quite hard still. It's just come out of the fridge. There we are. Pop the butter in the pan to melt, 100 grams of butter. Okay. Then we need some syrup in here as well. Oh, let's do the sugar next. So we also need in there 65 grams of brown sugar. I've got a very dark brown sugar here. Sometimes you can get a lighter brown. We're going for the dark brown today. And we want 65 grams of brown sugar. 60. Oh, a bit too much. There we go. Not quite enough. Super. And that's going to go in there with the butter. And then we need some syrup. And that's going to melt in there. So I've weighed my tin of syrup, and I'm going to take out 150 grams of syrup. Best thing to do is put a nice big spoon in, hold it over your pan, take it out and twizzle it round as quickly as you can and put it back in there. And that's going to melt in with the butter and the sugar. And I've just checked it on the scales. I'll need a little bit more. There we go. And we're going to let that melt all in together. Super. And now we need to measure out our dry ingredients while that's melting. We need 280 grams of plain flour. Pop that in the bowl. 280 grams. Oh, 200. It's quite a lot. 280 grams of flour. What else do we need that's dry? A pinch of salt, so that's a tiny little, whoop, just like that, pinch of salt. And then we need a pinch of bicarbonate of soda, lots of pinches. I think a pinch is when you get your fingers like that, you put it inside and you pinch it. There we go, there's a pinch of bicarbonate of soda. And then we want some ginger, and we need a teaspoon of ginger. I've got a measuring spoon here that's a teaspoonful. I'm going to tip that in, fill up my spoon, a teaspoon of ginger. So that's the dry ingredients. Let's have a check now and see how this is doing. Oh, it's melting quite nicely. Give it a stir around. Oh, I can smell the ginger. Lovely. There we go. Melting quite nicely. I'm just squashing the lumps of sugar because it was a bit lumpy, the sugar that I put in. There we go. There we go. So that's nicely melted now. So I'm going to turn the heat off. And now I'm going to mix in the dry ingredients. Just going to tip it in here and keep stirring. Woo! There we go. Round and round. It's all mixed in nice and smoothly. Just scrape it from the sides and stir it in. You see it's coming nice and thick now. So I want to get rid of all the little white lumps if I can. Make sure it's all stirred in. Still looks quite sticky, doesn't it? Oh, there's another big lump of white. So you need to make sure you go all around the edges of your pan and get any lumps that are left at the side and just stir it in. There we go. Okay, then we need to get a board, a rolling to roll it on. I'm going to put some flour on the board. That's still very sticky. Okay, now if that is too sticky to move, what you can do is just add a little bit more flour and stir that in till you can able to get it out as a sort of lump to put onto your floured board. So we've got flour on here now as well. Can you see it's all sticking together nicely now? And I'm just going to scoop it out. There we go. Woo! Turn it out onto the board. It would be very hot, so be very careful when you take it out of there. Scoop it all out. There's half a gingerbread man left in there, you see. There we go. I've got a knife here. I'm going to scrape it off with a knife because I say it will be quite hot. There we go, lovely. I want it to be able to keep its shape, otherwise our little shapes are going to not work on it. There we go. That's it. Oh, there we go, look. I'll pat it down or roll it with a rolling pin. Just get my rolling pin from over here. A little bit of flour on. And roll it out like that. You don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin. There we go. And I've got some cutters here. I've got some ginger people shapes that I'm going to cut out on here. And you're going to need a tray to put them on to go in the oven. And it's best to grease your tray a little bit before you put them on so they don't stick. So I'm just going to rub a little bit of butter to grease my tray. Or you can put it on greaseproof paper. I wonder if that's what we did last time. I don't know. There we go, one nicely greased tray. And if you look at your cutters, one edge is sharper than the other. So at one side it'll be sort of folded over and the other side will be sharper. So put the sharp side down, press it firmly into your dough. Then when you lift it up, bring it straight up like that and you'll end up with a little fella. Oops, let's pop him there. There's one. And the other way you can do it is just to go around and cut out as many as you can. Oops. There we go. Oh, he's come up in the cutter. There we go. Off you come. His feet are sticking. That one looks as if he's running. He's got a stretchy leg. I think this might still be a little bit soft, this dough. Because you can pull them out that way as well. Oh, this is a bit soft. Don't worry, it'll still cook nicely. So you can reshape them once you get them onto the board, can't you? Onto the tin. So I'm just going to give it a little roll again. Make sure it's not sticking. That's it. If it's too sticky, you can always add a bit more flour. Look, there we go. Let's one there. Oh, it's coming straight out as well. Oh, just put my finger in his foot as well. There we go. And another one. Might be a little bit thick. Let's give him another little roll. There we go. And you just need to use up all your gingerbread dough. You can use any shapes you want to, of course, for this if you want to use other shapes. I've got another cutter here. I think this one's got little buttons, holes and eyes and a nose and feet patterns. Now see, this might be a bit sticky, this mix for this dough, this cutter, but we'll see. Pull it out that side, there we go. See if we can get him to come out straight onto the tray. No, we can't. There we go, now down. Off you come. Oh, he's got his head stuck. There we go. There's another one, look, a little gingerbread person. And there's some buttons and an eyes on the mouth. Use this, you can always use a knife to sort of ease them out as well, that's the other possibility. Give them a shake. Ooh, come out. There we go. Just going to put all my little bits together and rolled it again. And you know, we're just thinking that if you want to, if you don't like ginger, you could always put your own flavouring in. So you could put allspice in, or nutmeg, or vanilla, or whatever you wanted to make the flavour. You could put that in to this recipe and it would be really good. There we go, there's another one refusing to come out. So here's my gingerbread people. They're now going to go in the oven that we put on earlier to cook. Somebody else to help you put them in, get an adult to put them in if you need to. We just close at the door, and they have got to stay in the oven for 25 to 35 minutes, it says on here. But I think I'm going to check after 20 minutes and see how well done they are. Yeah? Okay, so 20 minutes and I'm going to have another look and see if they're okay. And then we'll finish them off then. Okay, bye. Okay everyone, I think these are cooked. That's just taken 20 minutes. So you've got to get them out very carefully, or get someone to help you get them out. Very, very hot. And then I've got a fish slice here that I'm going to use to get them off the tray. And I'm going to put them onto a rack to cool. Okay, and then very carefully you just ease them off and slide them onto there, look. They come. All these look yummy. Yummy, yummy. Whoops, he doesn't want to come off. Always lost a little arm, never mind. There we go. So you might need some help with this. And you might not, but be very careful because the tray, of course, is very, very hot. So try not to touch it by mistake. There we go. Let's have that little fella next. There they go. Oops, I have to squash up a little bit. Here you go. One more. And then I made a long sausage with a bit that was left at the end. Well, that can just stay there because there's not enough room. I'm going to leave them there now to cool, and when they're cold we're going to decorate them. Hello everybody. Look at all our gingerbread people that we made yesterday. Actually, we've eaten one or two already and they're very tasty. But we're going to decorate these. So I've got some icing sugar. I'm going to put that in a bowl. Get a bowl. And I'm going to add a tiny drop of water. It only needs ever such a drop. And stir it round because we want our icing to be nice and thick. It's a bit too thick. Best to add a little bit at a time, because if you add too much you end up adding lots of icing sugar as well. Oop, that might have been too much. Stir it round and round. I've got some white icing sugar. And you could use white on your gingerbread people. Now you can use an icing set to do this. Look, we've got it on our picture here. You've got little squiggly lines and buttons and a scarf and eyes. So I've got some little silver balls and little blue balls that came out of one of those things. I'm going to give these little ones a little dab of icing sugar. Like that. Whoops. Then I might give them a silver eye. Whoop. One eye. Two eyes. This one might have blue eyes. Let's put some more icing sugar. So really you can use your icing sugar as glue to stick things on that you want to stick on. And he's got blue eyes. And we'll do this one as well. Let me give him some blue eyes too. There we go. Or you can just give them a little dot for an eye. There we go. One little eye. Give these little eyes. Little eyes for each one. So you see, you don't need an icing set. If you've got one, that's great, but you can just do it by dobbing them on. There's the last one. Whoops. There we go. And they also need a smile, don't they? Because snowmen smile. So we can do some smiles. Whoops. Yeah, we've got a snowman there with eyes and a smile. Ooh, he's got a big mouth. There we go. There we go. Oh, now we've got some food colouring here. So shall we give him some little red buttons? Give them little red buttons. You just need a tiny drop of food colouring in. Oh, there we go. Put the lid back on tightly before you spill it. Pop it over there. And then turn it, stir it in. Oh, and that's bright. A bright red. Yeah, that's lovely. We give them some red buttons. 1, 2, 3 buttons. Oh, that's like a zip, that one, rather than buttons. It all joined together. You could do any different colours as well. I've got some different coloured food colouring as well, but seeing as we've got this red made, we'll use the red. Oops, no, that's a bit too much. Should we just make him into one big long zip down the middle? Oops, that's the fastening for his coat. And then you could add some little sprinkles to them as well if you want. Look, I'm going to put some sprinkles on that one, seeing as I spilt so much on it. It's like a tie now, isn't it, really, or a scarf? Oops, there we go. And the other thing that you can use, of course, is jelly tots. That sort of thing, you know, little round jellies. You give some of them some jelly tots, because again, it works like glue, so you could stick jelly tots onto the buttons. Oops. There we go, he's got 3 buttons. See if we can get some different colours. Ooh. And an orange one there, and an orange one there. So icing sugar is just really good glue. Now then, what about these little fellas? What do you think? Do you think they should have buttons as well? There we go. A little bit of glue there. A bit of glue there. Give them some buttons. There we go. And you can really do just what you like with these. Just to make them as colourful and as fun as you want them to be. Now, there we go. We've got green buttons. They've got different colours. Oh, and I've left one plain. Oh, and he's lost his mouth there. There we go. That's all right, isn't it? We'll leave this on the bottom of here. There we go. Now we could make a little bit more icing and do another colour, couldn't we, for their scarf? Right. Okay, so I've mixed a little bit more icing. I'm going to add a few spots of the green food colouring. Again, put the lid on carefully because Just stain if you spill it. There we go. That's a nice colour for scarves, isn't it? A nice lime green. Wow. There we go. Let's see if we can give some of these a scarf as well. Perhaps just need a little bit on your spoon. And just dribble it round there as a scarf. Oh, I think I'm going to end up in a mess here. There we go, there's his scarf. It's almost covering his mouth there, it could be a mask. There we go, there's a scarf. Scarves usually hang down as well, don't they? Look, I've forgotten that in the other two. Let's put it down like that so it looks more like a scarf. Yeah? And down again on this one. As I say, if you've got an icing kit, you could do this with that, but you don't have to have one to decorate. There you go, across the top. Shall we put his scarf down there? Woo, there we are, one there. One there. You've got scarves on? Oh, do you think these little guys could have a scarf as well? A bit more difficult, there's not much room. Oop. There we go. Bit more. And there are our gingerbread people. Enjoy them. Okay. Have fun, bye.